Hey, what is up guys, it's Thunderstruck115, and today we are going to be covering the Starfield pronoun drama. Now, I already made a video talking about this situation, and overall I'm pretty pleased with the results of that video. But I got more than a few angry comments who didn't necessarily like what I had to say regarding the whole situation. And let me tell you, these comments were fucking bad. Like, you know things are bad when even Vincent Martin, of all people, left a much better comment than the people we are going to be taking a look at today. So without further ado, let me put on my best reading voice and see what these people didn't like about my video.
This game is woke garbage. Avoid and expect no refund if you do purchase and regret it later. Buyer beware. Make sure to check whether games are woke in the future.
Oh, this game is woke. Care to explain? No? Okay. I mean, the only thing I think you could be referring to is the pronoun selection, which, again, is an optional customization option in a character creator in an RPG, which you don't have to interact with if you don't want to.
You don't need a pick your pronouns option, though. Pick the female character? You're now a she, her. Male character? He, him. Why does the option need to exist? It's also unrequired.
You know, funny you should say that because that's what Starfield does already. If you pick the male body type, it will give you male pronouns. If you pick the female body type, it will give you female pronouns. If you want to have the correct pronouns for your gender that you pick in the character creation tool, you don't need to do anything else, but if you want to change them from what they are by default, the option is there. But if you don't want to engage with it, guess what? You don't have to. It's not forcing you to change your pronouns, it's just giving you the option. That's like complaining that the game allows you to play as a woman. Like, if you don't want to do it, then don't fucking make your character that way. Plain and simple.
Cancel everyone and everything.
Now, to be fair, I do think this comment might be satire, though it can be kinda difficult to tell through text here, but if this dude is being fucking serious, no, I'm not canceling this dude. I am just laughing at what I perceive to be a dumb take. I mean, hell, that's what this channel has been all about ever since early 2022. It's laughing at dumb takes on the internet. It's really not that fucking serious.
Pronouns are dumb.
You know, for the sake of this dude's sanity, I hope he doesn't ever have to take a kindergarten-level English class because, yeah, pronouns are literally one of the first things that you learn when learning a language. Oh god, this next guy wrote an entire fucking paragraph.
So Thunder mentioned pronouns, okay? He mentioned a small part of why Az went on a rant, okay? Az mentions pronouns, gender ambiguity, and current-day politics, and this guy's focus is on the pronouns.
You know, it's kinda hard to talk about the other two things when he doesn't even provide examples of what he's talking about besides the fucking pronouns. I mean, besides that one example of that one chick who was a clone of a dude, except it was literally explained not even a minute later that she wasn't actually a clone, but that she had multiple DNA donors and that gene splicing was used, and that's why she's different.
Thunder said Az was wrong, that Az should be attacked, and then Thunder admitted that Az was right 2 minutes later in his own video. Is this guy thick?
Did I say he was wrong? I don't think I said that verbatim, but I mean, I guess you could extrapolate that from my video. Though, really, I was more calling him a dumbass and a retard. But where the fuck did I say he should be attacked, or that he was right? Like, I know I agreed with him on a certain point he made about certain Disney movies, but that was overall unrelated to the entire pronoun issue with Starfield. Or just Starfield in general. But I didn't say that he was right overall.
I managed to make my way through this video, but every point this guy brings up literally gets debunked later by him saying it's true or showing a video of Az which proves him wrong. Very conveniently leaving out parts of Az's video that shows he's more wrong. Politics and video games. He said it wasn't true, but that's what this video is about. Then he goes on to mention Saints Row. Yeah, politics, and he admitted it.
No, what I said wasn't true was that it was a widespread issue. Saints Row is an isolated example. Political ideologies in general are not really shoved into video games, but naturally there are going to be exceptions to that rule, which is what Saints Row is. However, I struggle to think of other examples. Meanwhile, I also listed examples of recently released games that didn't have political ideologies forced in them. In fact, of all the examples that I listed in that section, the only one that released prior to the Saints Row reboot was Elden Ring. And the Saints Row reboot is coming on a year old at this point, so you'd think if it was such a widespread issue that we'd have more examples by now, right? Yet you conveniently never bring them up. As for skipping parts of Az's video, the only ones that I did skip was a part where I actually agreed with him, where something that the Ackman said, comparing it to the Hogwarts Legacy drama, was kind of an L point on the Ackman's part, so if I agree with Az's response to that, then there's really no fucking point of leaving it in the video. And then I skipped like the last 2 minutes of his video because he doesn't really say anything that I haven't really already responded to. He's basically just repeating points I've already responded to at that point.
Pronouns. Both games have a selection screen. He told us about it in this video. Thunder said that people called that shit out, rightfully so, forgetting 2 seconds later that this is what Az is doing. Is this guy for real?
Yeah, there's a bit of a difference between something like Saints Row, which forces a political ideology into its game, versus Starfield, which literally just gives you an extra option when it comes to customization. Because in the roughly 10 hours or so of Starfield that I have played, there is nothing close to forcing a political ideology into the game. Meanwhile, according to all the people that I've talked to who have played more Starfield than I have told me that outside the pronoun shit, there really isn't anything that could be considered political, at least in regards to a real-world political ideology. I mean, yeah, the pronouns and the character creator are likely there to appease the left-wingers, but at the end of the day, it's an optional customization option in a video game that you do not have to engage with if you do not want to. And it's something that ceases to become relevant past the first few minutes of the game when you create your character. Meaning, this is pretty much the textbook definition of a non-issue.
So far, all he's done is said that people are right to point out politics, woke junk in games, but it's wrong when Az does it. And he's jealous of other people's ability to swear with funny words.
Again, there's a difference between a game forcing a political ideology into a game where it doesn't belong, versus just having an optional customization option. And no, I'm not jealous, I'm just fucking laughing my ass off. Like hell, I literally stated in the fucking video that I found it to be thoroughly entertaining. Sure, it's entertaining in the ironic sense, sort of like how a Wings of Redemption livestream is entertaining. But still, I had fun laughing at that shit.
He wasn't calling the game boring. He was talking about the people who made the game. I can't believe the straw manning going on in this video.
And why did you say that the development studio was boring? Simple. Because they put quote-unquote current-day politics into the actual game, which he considers to be boring. Therefore, is it really that much of a stretch to say that he finds the game boring?
Looking at your thumbnail, I already know that you're full of shit. I agree with HeelvsBabyFace. Pronouns don't belong in video games. The only pronouns that matter in video games is my enemies are about to become was-were. Just like Nashville months ago. The police shot that crazy girl mass shooter. And now the SJWs are like, respect her trans pronouns. Her pronouns are him, he. She's gone. Her pronouns are now was-were.
Yes, hello? What are the symptoms of brain damage? Okay, yeah, I think this guy definitely has it then.
I don't think there are any words in the English language that can properly describe the amounts of pure, unadulterated stupidity and mental gymnastics on display here. This dude is really out here trying to compare pronouns that are optional in a character creation tool in a video game to a fucking mass shooting. I don't know what the fuck this dude is on to draw this sort of comparison, but it must be like at least a combination of cocaine, crack, and crystal meth. Truly some big brain activity on display right here.
You guys really acting like woke pronouns is the same as normal pronouns and that it is no big deal. Right, like Gina Serrano wasn't harassed with hate messages and death threats. Like they never made up nonsense like dead naming and get violent when you don't fall in line. Remember the fiasco with Hogwarts Legacy? Honestly, weaklings like you who chaff your ass on the fence are getting tiring.
Considering that this is literally just an optional customization option that literally you don't even need to interact with if you just want normal fucking pronouns on your character, then yeah, it really is no big deal. And it's funny because you're acting similar to the lefties who were upset at Gina Serrano for just posting some dumb shit on social media, or for the people who were upset at Hogwarts Legacy because reasons, I guess. Although I will concede that the whole reaction to the Starfield pronouns definitely isn't quite as bad as either of those situations, because to my knowledge, nobody's been doxxed, nobody's received death threats, nobody's been harassed, and nobody's been forced out of their jobs. But you know, I'm not really sure why you think that I think it's as bad as those things, considering that number one, I never fucking said that it was, and number two, I am literally only responding to this because I enjoy laughing at retarded opinions online over video games. I'm not on YouTube to make the world a better place or anything. I'm just here to talk shit and have fun. I thought this was a pretty entertaining topic to cover, so I made a video on it. It really does not go deeper than that. And another thing, it's funny you bring up the whole Hogwarts Legacy situation, considering that I quite literally have made 2 videos on the topic.
As is correct. Get this woke agenda out of our entertainment.
Well, in order to do that, it would have to be in our entertainment in the first place. Which I will concede that it does infest certain areas of our entertainment, mainly Hollywood. However, this video was focused on Starfield, and no, it's not fucking there in Starfield. Literally, the only fucking ammo you have is an option to change your pronouns in the character creation tool, which you do not have to do. Which, if merely having the option to do something like that makes a game woke, then I guess by that logic, Minecraft is also woke, since you have the ability to build, let's just say, a fucking gay flag or whatever. Never mind the fact that you are perfectly able to just not fucking do it, because if we're going off the same logic that these people are using to bash Starfield with, then yeah, Minecraft would be fucking woke, and yeah, I don't see how any reasonable person could reach that conclusion.
Az made 20 criticism in the course of 20 hours of streamed gameplay, and left the internet claims he only made 1. And that 1 is the only reason it is trash. Keep lying, it really helps the world.
Now this one I actually did reply to. Have you considered that maybe people just don't take issue with those other points? Crazy idea, I know.
Some people possibly. All people defiantly not. Muda and Axoy and their fanboys for EG tweeting up that it was wrong for Az to have that opinion at all, and that if Az wanted to criticize immersion, he can only do so by talk about load screens. Muda plainly stating that only the loading screens can break immersion.
Okay, now here's my suggestion. If it's literally just Actman, Mudahar, and a few of their fanboys that are claiming that, then maybe you should take it up with them instead of me, because not once did I ever make any of those claims. Well, besides maybe the one where Az was wrong to have that opinion, but even then, I wouldn't really say he's wrong for having it as much as he is just fucking stupid. And even then, I don't really give that much of a shit about this whole situation. I'm just laughing at it because I find it fun to do so. As for criticisms made during the live stream, I'm responding to the dude's video. I'm not responding to his entire fucking live stream. I only just pulled parts from the live stream that were relevant to what I was responding to.
People are just sick and tired of politics being interjected into everything. And if you watch the full video in context, it had nothing to do with the embassy NPC. It started with the game forcing you to choose pronouns. The whole point of playing games, watching shows, and movies is to escape the real world, the issues of the real world, and now that's gone because it's basically force-fed to everyone, which is the issue. You can tell this channel reacting to this is controlled by someone who leans left.
Well, at the very least, I can safely say that I've successfully pissed off both sides of the political spectrum by now, because, you know, I got some lefties pissed off at me during the whole Hogwarts Legacy situation, and now I got the righties pissed off at me here. But if you actually watch my video, you'll know that I actually did watch his video because I included his video in my own, because, you know, that's how commentary response works. But, you know, if you want to escape the real world, then, you know, Starfield has that, because, like, you create your fucking character, and then you go out into the world of Starfield. Again, the pronouns default to whatever body type you pick. If you pick the male body type, you get male pronouns. If you pick the female body type, you get female pronouns. So, like, once you create your fucking character and you start the fucking game, you don't have to fucking worry about any of that shit. If you don't want your character to have incorrect pronouns, then don't go out of your way to fucking change them. Plain and simple.
I absolutely do have some beef with this game in terms of race balance and the fact that modern day culture is represented in a game that is so far in the future and off-world that it just makes absolutely zero sense to smuggle in our way of thinking and our cultural trends. Nose rings, really? The NPCs look like the minority of society with meth head looks on their faces. It's the most incompetent trash I have ever seen in a game, and this is the best these developers can do in 2023. Worst creators ever.
Okay, dude, I'm pretty sure that if nose rings exist in the modern day, then they'll probably still exist 300 years from now. Like, for example, shirts have existed for a long-ass fucking time, and yet they're still around even to this day, so is it really that much of a stretch? But as for the meth head looks on the faces and the poor graphics, yeah, that's mainly because Bethesda refuses to ditch their shitty-ass creation engine, so yeah, I think that's a fair criticism, though. Like, for fuck's sake, Bethesda, switch away from the creation engine and use something else, like fucking id Tech 7 or something.
So they're now banning people mods that remove this pronoun agenda. Kind of like how people get sent to jail for misgendering someone. But I'm sure saying, why are you so obsessed with pronouns? Convince these people that everything is 100% fine.
Okay, the reason why the whole pronoun thing isn't an issue is because you can elect to ignore it. And after the first 10 minutes, once you create your character, it doesn't fucking show back up if you don't want it to. But as for them banning mods that remove the whole pronoun shit, yeah, I think that's fucking dumb on so many levels. Cause, you know, if you don't want to deal with the mod's effects, then you don't have to fucking install the mod. And at the end of the day, it's a single player game, so why the fuck does it matter how someone enjoys that single player game? So yeah, I'll agree that them banning mods like that is an issue. But as the pronoun thing exists in the base game, no, I would not consider that an issue.
Well, first of all, it was taken out of context, and the rant wasn't in the beginning when he saw the pronouns. It was hours into the game after running into transgender characters. Some folks would like to get into the games and not see left-wing ideology forced into their face. He's not a Nazi for his views. He's just tired of left-wing ideology and their BS.
Please point to where exactly I called him a Nazi in my video, because newsflash, I fucking didn't. And if there is anyone out here trying to claim that he is one, then yeah, that person's a fucking dumbass. No, I'm gonna call him a dumbass and a retard, but a Nazi? Hell fucking no. As for the whole taken out of context shit and the whole trans character, quote unquote, it's not a transgender character, as I explained at 9 minutes and 3 seconds. Also, I explained the context of his rant at the beginning of the video.
A clone of a man that's a woman. Might as well be.
Tell me that you didn't watch my explanation without telling me you didn't watch my explanation. Well, I say my explanation when in reality most of it was actually the game's explanation. That being, she's not actually a clone of this person, but rather she had multiple DNA donors and gene splicing was used to make a new person.
Oh, look! You're a clone of a man? How does that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
I really don't know how anybody with more than 2 brain cells can watch that and come to the conclusion that this character is trans fucking gender, but you know, I guess this person doesn't have more than 2 brain cells. But with that, we have reached the end of the comments, at least as of the time of me recording this. I fully expect that more will be posted in the future, but you know, fuck it. But that means we have reached the end of my video, so yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more, and tell me what you think of these angry comments, coping and seething that I dare to criticize somebody they like. Anyways, that's it. Peace!